Miss Huffman here, and joining us today is Kokomo. You want to say hi, Kokomo? Hi! Kokomo is a happy and healthy 6-year-old cat. A cat, you might be asking? Yes, Kokomo is a cat. Now, he might not look like your typical cat or your average cat because Kokomo is called a Sphynx cat, or just a Sphynx. That's a type of cat that naturally doesn't grow hair like the cats you might be used to seeing. So Kokomo has this really beautiful complexion, but he also gets cold really easily. Aw, thanks for the kisses, Kokomo. So he likes to hang out in really comfy and cozy areas. Isn't that right? Well, I was thinking, and Kokomo doesn't look like your average cat, and that reminded me of this story. Not your typical dragon. And a lot like Kokomo, this dragon doesn't seem very typical or usual to me. Maybe take a look at the illustration and think, why is this dragon not your typical dragon? Did you notice what the dragon's doing? I've never seen a dragon blow bubbles before, have you? What about you, Kokomo? Not Your Typical Dragon by Dan Barrell and illustrated by Tim Bowers. Not your typical dragon. Remember, typical. The usual. So if it's not your typical dragon, it's not the usual. Like Kokomo. Crispin Blaze was born into a proud family of fire-breathing dragons. Every blaze breathes fire, explained his father. I breathe fire, your mother breathes fire. Tomorrow, when you turn 7, you'll breathe fire too. What do you think about that, Kokomo? The little dragon imagined all the forest he would burn down. He dreamed of the castles he would destroy. He also considered boiling water to make tea, but he didn't tell his father that. Well, Kokomo, would you burn down forests and destroy castles too? I take that as a yes. The next day, Crispin sat among family and friends as a big cake was brought to the table. Who would like to light the birthday candles? His mother asked. I will, declared Crispin. He could feel a tingling inside his tummy. But when he opened his mouth, fire did not come out. What do you think's going to come out instead? Yeah? Whipped cream came out. Crispin, shouted his father. Dragons breathe fire. What will the neighbors think? Worried his mother. I love whipped cream, said his little sister, Ashley. The little dragon was whisked off to the doctor the very next day. Please fix my son, demanded Crispin's father. What seems to be the problem? Asked the doctor. Crispin opened his mouth and breathed, but fire did not come out. What's going to come out this time? Band-Aids came out. I see, said the doctor gravely. Dragons should breathe fire, insisted Crispin's father. We were low on Band-Aids, mumbled the nurse. The doctor sent Crispin home with medicine. He swallowed 2 teaspoons before going to school. It will help you become a real dragon, said his father with a wink. Oh, a real dragon? Wow, I wonder how that made Crispin feel. Kokomo, what if someone said you weren't a real cat just because you don't have fur? How would you feel? Yeah. After school, Crispin joined his first fire-breathing practice. One by one, little dragons aimed their fiery breath at stacks of logs until they burst into flames. Crispin stepped up confidently. He could feel the medicine bubbling in his belly, but when he opened his mouth, fire did not come out. Marshmallows came out. "Dragons breathe fire!" yelled the coach. "Isn't that right, class?" The other dragons didn't answer. They were too busy looking for pointy sticks for marshmallow roasting. "I guess I'm not a real dragon," Crispin thought. He worried that his family would be disappointed, so he ran away from home. Oh, Kokomo, how do you think Crispin's feeling about now? Yeah, would you like to see the pictures too? The world can be a scary place for a little dragon who can't breathe fire. Crispin found a dark cave. "I'll be a fireless dragon all by myself. I won't bother anyone, and no one will bother me." An hour later, he had a visitor. Yikes, Kokomo, you want to look ahead? Who's the visitor? "I am Sir George," squeaked a thin, shiny knight. Show yourself, dragon." Crispin shuffled out of the cave. The thin, shiny knight held up his thin, shiny sword. "Do your worst, dragon." Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Yikes, what's going to happen, Kokomo? What do you think will happen? Soap bubbles came out. "Don't you breathe fire, dragon?" Crispin shook his head. "I can't." Sir George moaned, "But my father insisted that I fight a fire-breathing dragon. It even says here in my book that your typical dragon breathes fire." "I'm not your typical dragon," Crispin explained. Kokomo, did you recognize that too? That's the title. Sir George sighed. "I can't go home." "Me neither," Crispin nodded. But then he had an idea. Maybe your book could tell us what to do. What do you think? Of course! Sir George searched through the pages. "It says it's probably just your diet." Sir George fed Crispin spicy curry, scorching chili, and blistering salsa. Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Red party streamers came out. "At least they're the right color," said Sir George kindly. Yikes. Sir George searched through the book again. "Aha! It says it's probably your attitude." You know what attitude is? Yeah, that's kind of like how you're feeling, your personality. Like right now, Kokomo's attitude is calm, mellow. Isn't that right? Sir George showed Crispin how to look mean and angry enough to breathe fire. Okay, let's try it. Wow, what a mean and angry face. What does your mean and angry face look like? Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Soft, cuddly teddy bears came out. Said Sir George. "We may have taken a step backward." "It's no use," Crispin sighed. "I'm just not your typical dragon." But Sir George was not ready to give up. "Aha! The book says you're too stressed." You know what stressed means? What about you, Kokomo? Are you feeling stressed, kind of anxious, a lot on your mind? No, Kokomo is the opposite of stressed. What about you? Sir George made Crispin close his eyes while he described a quiet, relaxing day at the ocean. Do you feel calm? Now imagine 100 shiny knights attacking you! Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Beach balls came out. Well, that's just plain weird. Secretly, Sir George was glad that Crispin couldn't breathe fire. He liked the little dragon and didn't want to fight him. Crispin liked the shiny knight too, but he missed his parents. Sir George, it's getting dark. I want to go home. The shiny knight patted him on the back. Don't worry, little dragon, I will take you. Crispin's parents were relieved when he arrived home safely. Relieved. You know relieved? I was worried and now I'm not. Sir George was about to say goodbye when they heard a shout. There you are, boy! Why on earth are you playing with a fire-breathing dragon? He's my friend, Father, whispered Sir George. And besides, he doesn't breathe fire. A dragon that doesn't breathe fire? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard, the shiny man laughed. Crispin's father stormed out of the house. My son is not silly. He may not breathe fire, but I certainly do. Crispin's father let out a powerful spray of flames. Oh no, Kokomo! What do you think is going to happen next? Do your worst, dragon, declared the shiny man. But then the flames scorched the lawn. That's enough, honey, said Crispin's mother. The flames singed the fence. You've made your point, dear. Now stop showing off, she scolded. Then the flames ignited the roof. Crispin's father panicked. Okay, Kokomo, you know what that means? That means, oh no, I'm scared something's gonna happen. Kokomo! He's not panicked. I can't stop breathing fire! You'll burn the house down, cried his mother. You'll burn down the whole neighborhood. Dragons came running from all directions. They knew how to start fires, but no one knew how to stop them. Crispin suddenly felt a tingling in his tummy. He felt a bubbling in his belly. He opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Okay, what do you predict is going to happen? What do you think, Kokomo? What do you think? A gush of water came out. Crispin aimed the water at his father's flames. He saved his home, and he even saved the shiny man, who wasn't looking so shiny anymore. Hooray for Crispin! Everyone shouted. Hooray, Kokomo! Hooray! On Crispin's next birthday, there was a big party. Family and friends came from all over the land. Sir George and his family came too. Lots of dragons were dancing. Crispin stood with his mouth open wide. Fire still did not come out. Music came out instead. Your son, said an old uncle to Crispin's father. He's not your typical dragon, is he? No, replied Crispin's father proudly. My son is something special. And then he jumped up and danced to Crispin's music too. Wow. So, in the end, did Crispin ever breathe fire? No, he didn't. And is that okay? Yeah, of course. It's okay to be different. And do you think Crispin was okay with that? He sure looks happy to me. So, if you're feeling like Crispin, or like Kokomo, and that you're not typical, or maybe there's something unusual about you, maybe think about it this way. The things that make you unusual might be things that other people enjoy. Or maybe the things that make you different is what makes you special. Just like Kokomo, a cat with no fur. And just like Crispin, a dragon that doesn't breathe fire. We're all different, and that's okay. Let's embrace it. So if you have a book and maybe someone to snuggle with, like a cat, or perhaps a stuffed animal, or even a fish, see if you can curl up and read together too. Because when we read together, we can learn together, and it's just a little more special. Until next time, bye!